Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tales from a Professional Nerd. My name is Bryan Steele, and I will be your professional nerd today and every other day that you watch one of my silly little shows. So, today, we're going to go ahead and jump into the day in Bryan. You might note, if you're watching these videos in succession, that I'm short today. It is because about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, I broke my good office chair, my good studio chair. I broke it. I've gained a lot of weight. I'm working on it. I promise. I'm trying to get healthier. But I'm in bad shape right now, and I'm very heavy, and I broke my old chair. And it's because they are expensive. I do have one on my fancy Amazon wish list. However, it's expensive, so I don't plan on showing up anytime soon. That being said, I'm in a different chair. My lovely wife has been kind of surfing the estate sale. There's a cool app that she has on her phone that basically is people selling cheap stuff, and she found a nice wheelie office chair for me for really cheap. And she went and got it, and I've been using that for the last 3 or 4 weeks, give or take. And a couple days ago, I sat down in it, and something made a very strange noise. Chunk! And I was like, oh, I broke another chair. It's not true. What we didn't know is the reason why this chair was being sold for, a pittance was because the up and down on the chair was being held together with a C-clamp. And when I twisted a particular way, the C-clamp popped off, and I sank 6 inches. So, I'm short at the moment. You'll have to excuse that. I promise, it won't change anything other than the way that maybe how you see me. Normally, I'm 6 foot tall, and now I'm merely 6 foot tall, but smooshed. The Week in Bryan. Sorry, a little crazy. The Week in Bryan. Let's see. It hasn't been I got to play some more Necromunda. We officially started our Necromunda campaign, so I got in a couple of games. We had a big event a couple weeks ago. I think I already told you about that last week. But I got a couple of one-off games in, and I have learned something about my Paladite Enforcers. The cops are great. I guess I never realized just how awesome our specialized equipment is. The Enforcer bolt gun is amazing. The Enforcer shotgun is way cooler than the regular shotgun. The armor, the fact that we all come with armor standard for free, I guess I never realized that the benefits that we get. That has really been highlighted, and I'm learning a lot every time I play. That being said, I have lost both my last 2 games. I've made a bunch of, I've knocked out almost their entire team. I've gotten to the point where I guess I didn't. No, I didn't lose the game against. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I almost lost both games. One game I probably should have lost, but it just came down to dice. And then the game after, my gang, my guys, my squad ran off the field because I had so few people left after the game before. I need to focus in that game. I really do need to focus on getting more bodies. I know I can't buy rookies, but I need to get more activations, more bodies on the field, because my guys, as soon as I take 1 or 2 ugly unexpected hits, or a tactic goes bad or something along those lines, my guys are running, and that helps no one ever. So I'm gonna probably take the next couple of games and update. Maybe get another regular ganger or enforcer, sorry, or buy another cyberhound because it gives me another activation, and that will be helpful too. We'll see. But either way, we're having a great time with the campaign. The new Necromunda is, I know I originally shied away from it because it looked like they had turned it into a board game. The living rule book, the fact that you can still use 3D terrain and things, it really is still just as fantastic of a game as it was back in the 90s, if not potentially more so because of all of the extra stuff that they've added. I am looking forward to continuing with my Paladin Enforcers, but I do have, for the next time that we start one of these up, or if we do a second campaign or something like that, or if this gang just gets too blasted that I can't survive any more matches, I do have a very solid Goliath gang ready to go. I just need to assemble some models and things, so that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, I've been playing a little Necromunda. Played our Curse of Strahd game last night, which we had another tough combat that went well for us. We fought a handful of werewolves with their regular wolves running around behind them. As far as I can tell, nobody. We had a few people get bit. I don't know whether or not they contracted it. I also. I don't remember, and I don't want to look it up because I want to be surprised the next time there's a full moon in that game. I don't remember whether or not a paladin's ability to cure disease can cure lycanthropy. I don't remember if it's considered a curse or a disease, and I'm not looking it up. I don't need to know that for work right now for whatever I'm working on. So I'm good, and. There's that little itch part of the back of my head that's like, the monster manual's right over there. But I don't want a metagame like that. I would rather really just to find out whether or not we need to invest in deeper protective magics or whatnot. And I just don't want a meta. So please, even if you do know, don't put it in the comments because I have to read all the comments for this so I can answer people. But I don't want to know until in the actual game whether or not we find out if bad things have happened to some of our guys. But the big thing right now, what I've been doing a lot of painting. I finished the 8 Ways Baneblade commission. I completely forgot to take pictures, which sucks because it turned out really good. It turned out really, really neat. A very cool project. I can't wait for the client to get a hold of it so he can slap it all together. Maybe he'll give me some pictures to take so I can share. But that was a long project, but a lot of fun. It really was. So I know that I'm waiting on a couple of commissions. People have told me that they've got some more models headed my way, but it's more standard stuff like, here's my Imperial Guard veterans, here's my squad of Nords from Conquest or whatever. So I'm excited to get to paint some other stuff instead of giant blue tanks. But in the interim, I have been prepping for a tournament this weekend. That's right. Bryan C.P. Steele, the professional nerd, is coming out to play in a 40K tournament at the local store. This is the first tournament I've played in probably 3-4 years. My Necrons are coming out to play, but he's the tournament organizer is running it standard. He's running it based off of the actual rules in the book, which means fully painted armies get 10 additional battle points per game. So I was putting together my army and I realized that there was a handful of models that needed the paintbrush love, and so I took a handful of days and was like, nope, I'm going to focus on these Necrons, and I got that stuff done, and I'm really excited. In fact, actually, today or later today, when I get a chance, when I take a break from trying to get the Shadowrun novel done, I have I 3D printed objective markers for my Necrons that I'm going to go ahead and paint and seal them up and everything. It's just fancy stuff. I made one of my characters in the army that I'm taking on Saturday is he comes with a piece of equipment that requires a marker. Requires basically you put a marker on the board, and I decided rather than just using a generic here's a cardboard shit or something, I found a cool 3D a cool 3D file that is kind of a neat little sci-fi piece of terrain thing that's just like an inch tall. But so I went ahead and printed out and painted the marker for his war gear. For me, I guess it's a nice little piece of immersion, and if it makes my opponent just a little happier knowing that we put the extra effort onto the battlefield, then I'm all the happier. But yeah, so that's Saturday. I get to throw down with 3 opponents on Saturday, 2,000 points. I don't know who's all going. I know a handful of people that are going from like my personal group, so I'll be fine playing them. But part of why I used to go to tournaments is not just to win matches and things or win prizes. It is also to play against people you don't normally play against. You get outside of your circle and sort of enjoy someone else's play style and whatnot. I'm hoping that it is a good play style, because part of the reason why I haven't played in so long is not just because I'm busy, but it is also because I really dislike playing against win at all costs or power gamers. I'm not a fan. You can be competitive without being a jerk about it, and I've done videos on that. I'm not going to go deep, but that's really what kind of chased away my competitiveness in tournaments. Is I just don't want to be around that type of play, so I've stopped it. So I hadn't played. But our local store, this is their first tournament post-COVID. I'm excited to go and throw down. And it's also, I've been so stressed and working such long hours trying to get this Shadowrun book done that it'll be nice to take an afternoon, to take a day shift on a weekend to just play games and be me. Not have to think about, how many words did I get down today? Am I letting down my editor? That sort of thing. So that's the plus for Bryan's week so far. Ooh, that's watered down. Gross. So the work part of Bryan's week has been Shadowrun. A lot of Shadowrun writing. I am very concerned that I'm going to miss the deadline on this. Now, luckily, the people at Catalyst are amazing, and my editor over there is one of the coolest guys in the industry that I've ever worked for. And I think as long as I continue to produce, and who knows, I'm looking at the clock, and I probably can. I can probably still smash this out, but I want to give him the right book. I don't want to just be throwing words at a page. And I recently looked. I did the thing you're not supposed to do. So Tourist Trap, my first Shadowrun novel, has been out for a couple of months, and it's started to get some reviews on Amazon, which is awesome. I enjoy hearing what people think about my stuff. What I don't enjoy is when someone's review is completely off base, not opinion. Like if your opinion is you didn't like it, you didn't like it. I'm down. I'm not going to look at you and be like, well, you're wrong. You're wrong. You should have liked it. No, if it doesn't, stick with you, then so be it. What I do disagree with is when someone's review treats their opinion as just straight up fact. And there was a review on my on Tourist Trap that was basically, this book doesn't feel like Shadowrun at all, which, I hate to say it, is really funny because I worked on Shadowrun, like on the world. I've helped shape part of it, especially the part that Tourist Trap was set in. That was why I was asked to write Tourist Trap. So that particular reviewer, or that particular review, I kind of discounted. Because not only did they immediately go to 1 star, it's terrible, this guy doesn't know Shadowrun, but they had no reference points, nothing to back up their statement. Just, this isn't this isn't what my idea of Shadowrun is, so this story sucks. Now, if you want to give somebody a review, that's fine, but you should try and be honest. You know, if you enjoyed the book, but there was a bunch of stuff that you didn't get, or you wish it was different, give somebody a 3-star review. Not everything has to be 5 stars or 1 star. You can totally do a middle of the road. But I digress. I read some of the reviews of Tourist Trapped, and it helped really kind of keep my momentum going on the current book, because it's always nice to see that people appreciate what you're doing. That being said, this particular book, I wish I could tell you more. I wish I could tell you why. So when I am handed a novel, especially from Shadowrun, I'm handed normally a set of parameters. Basically, do this, don't do that, stay away from this, do this. With this particular book, there's an additional parameter, an awesome parameter that makes it super special, especially for one set of fans out there in the world. It makes this book even extra special. But it does mean that I've got to be really careful not to let those fans down. Not to do something that's going to make those fans upset. Not to do something that is going to earn me a giant list of comments of, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. But what that has done is that I've had to do a lot more research. I've had to do a lot more looking things up as I move forward, and keeping track of the little things, because I don't want to let those fans down. One fan in particular, I really, really don't want to let that guy down, and it does slow the progress down on the book, but I have to say this, the book itself is coming together really well. I'm really happy with where it's coming, or where it's going. I'm hoping the fans agree, especially those particular fans in question. I hope that they agree with it as well. I think the words are going to start moving faster now. Where I'm at in the story, I obviously don't want to give anything away, but the beginning part of the book is a lot of exposition, is a lot of learning, it is a lot of character development, because this is a very character-driven book, and less to do with giant game meta and more to do with the characters themselves. It is more of a character piece, and because it is more of a character piece, there's a lot more dialogue, there's a lot more back and forth, than epic explosions and things like that. Now, where I've gotten to in the story is where things start to shift, where you've learned a lot about the characters. Now we get to see them in action, and we get to see them in a lot of action. So hopefully the words will start flowing much faster, because the action is coming faster. The scene changes are more drastic. So I'm hoping that it moves pretty quick here in the next couple weeks. But I have to stay focused on that. So that's pretty much the only thing I'm working on. I got a couple of offers to do some other stuff for some of my other employers, but I told them, I was like, I have to focus on this book. I've got to get it done. So shortly I'll be able to get back, and I'll get to tell you guys about some other cool stuff. But right now it is really all about this Shadowrun book. It is the spotlight in my world at the moment. But that's really the week in Bryan. Aside from, I had a very cool thing happen to me this week, hence the episode that you're watching right now. Earlier this week, I had someone send me a message and said, "Hey, have you taken a look at this?" And it was a board game. It was a board game that I had never heard of before. That had a Facebook page, had a website and whatnot. And that person was like, "You really should take a look at this. You should maybe shine a light on it because it seems really cool. So I did. It is called. Hold it up backwards. Oh, and upside down. Great. It is called Tactical Tech. Is the name. It is by a company called Tektite Games. So, first off, because this is YouTube and I have to do this. This is not a paid review. This is not. They are not a sponsor. They did not. They did not pay me for this. This is me doing an open box. I have not opened this box yet. The cellophane is off, but I have not opened the box. This is an open boxing, and we're going to go through the instructions, and we're going to take a look and see what we think. And then in the next week or two, I'm going to sit down probably with my kid and maybe my wife, and try and get a game in and see, and then we'll tell you later on what we think. But I wanted to let you know that it came with this really cool little vinyl sticker of a shooty guy, one of their standees. It says First Edition Tactical Tech on it. It's actually a really like a quality vinyl sticker. But I'm gonna note that it says First Edition. I have a theory. When I was taking a look at the website for this game, when I was looking at Tektite Games, and I noticed that their game comes with it's a tile-based map placement style game, but it came with a bunch of the contents. 20 board tiles, 4 commands, which I'm assuming like it's gonna be like a command section. Excuse me. 12 miners, 12 advanced miners, 16 shooters, 16 fighters, 16 mechs, 12 barricades, 12 turrets, 12 portals, 32 shields, 74 mineral cards, 16 research cards, 10 passage tiles, 4 menus, and a rulebook. Why I think so? This game so far is based on little standees, little guys, and the art for the game on their website, it's very cool. It's like it's got these big robots and soldiers running around. I believe that it is the fact that the sticker says First Edition on it. I believe that, and it's a very young game company. I believe that they wanted to make this a miniatures game, but as we all know, making miniatures is expensive. And I think that this is their way, their First Edition, their way of making their game, getting their system out there, testing their world, getting people to enjoy their stuff, and earn some capital towards hopefully making a second edition where there's actually physical models. Or maybe I'm completely off base, and they just really want to make a cardboard standee tile based game. I don't know. I don't know the people at the company. But what I can say is, at a glance, reading their website, looking at the fact that they've got a decent backstory, and there's these different types of troops and things that are running around on a grid map, on a grid-based map, it could probably have miniatures like that. So we'll see. I am looking forward to cracking this open and taking a look. But before we do that, let's finish reading the back of the box, and then we'll get through this. All right. Tactical Tech is an area control war game. See, it's a war game. It's not they don't model it as a board game. Or they don't market it as a board game. They market it as a war game, which again means they probably have a future of making models. Set in the future. Manage your minerals and use your skills to outplay your opponents. Learn to play in less than 15 minutes and experience hundreds of uniquely thrilling matches. In Tactical Tech, you must use your futuristic military faction to destroy your opponents on a mining facility located on an asteroid. Start at your command tile and send units out to build miners so you can earn mineral cards. Build miners. Probably like robot miners or something. Use your minerals to purchase units, structures, upgrades, and research cards. Each match you play will change based on the layout of the board tiles. Battle in a free-for-all match or team up for a 2 versus 2 match. And it says includes 4 players. So it includes 4 factions. And it says an average game should take between 90 and 120 minutes. 2 to 4 players, so there's no solo mode. And the age category that they think is 12 and up. So they expect you to be at least a little mature when it comes to your understanding of rules and things. So that's a good a good concept to start things off. All right, so let's go ahead and crack this baby open, and we will start doing the unboxing. All right. All right, let's get this baby cracked open and see what we see. All right. Oh, also, I'm going to remind myself. I'll go ahead and turn the volume off on my phone. I had to pause earlier because I got a phone call in the whole thing. All right, so here comes the opening. We've got the full color rulebook, which we'll be reading from in a minute. We have all right, it's kind of funny. So, not that I care in any way, shape, or form, but on the back of the box, and on the side of the box or whatever, it's got the different standees. It shows green, blue, red, and gray as the team colors. They're plastic injection, people, so it's not gray, it's white. And the blue and green are not quite as Crayola. They're a little more pastel. And the red, oh, the red is straight up pink. So, again, not that that matters in any way, shape, or form, but the colors that they're showing on all of their merch, all of their advertisements, is definitely brighter and more Crayola than anything else. Alright, so yeah, they're very bright. It comes with 5 big plastic bags. I actually appreciate when games do this. I'm assuming it's to hold your faction's little cardboard standees, its chits, your cards, or whatever. I really appreciate when games do this because they understand that you're going to separate your guys out. They understand that that they want your game to be the easiest way it can be to set things up, and one way to do that is to have faction in a bag. And rather than spending the extra time and therefore having to pass that cost onto you as a client, as a consumer, of paying someone to punch out all the cardboard chits from a color or whatever, they're just like, you're going to take care of it, but we've made it so you can actually keep that stuff, separate. And I dig that. I can, again, it's the little things that make me appreciate certain games. This is the kind of thing that I wish Fantasy Flight did because so many of Fantasy Flight's games have just bazillions of little bits and pieces, and they just basically assume that you're going to go buy a box of Ziploc bags and take care of it. All right, what else do we have here? We have these are the command cards. So we've got 4 command cards, which all seem to be completely the same. They're identical. Okay, so your factions are completely identical. And it basically, on one side, has a description of all the different mechanics in the game. Just kind of a cheat sheet sort of thing. And then on the other side has your turn order and information on each individual guy, the upgrades that you can purchase. So it's really this is not only like your command section is a cheat sheet, but it's also your turn order. What you're going to be doing. It doesn't look like there's anything to put on here. So like your command card is not, you don't have to like clip something to it that's, oh, I've earned this or anything like that. It's just kind of this is what you got going on. So that's cool. All right, those are neat. Let's set those off to the side. What else we got here? We have a bunch of cardboard cutouts of your team. So we have They are color coded. So we have green, blue, gray or white, really, and pink. The otherwise red. And so what we've got here, each one of these, lost the box. Each one of these has, oh, you know what? I want to get the command card because it tells me what they are. We've got 4 fighters, and the each guy, they've got their like fists up, and it looks like a little like a spike or something coming out of their hand. So they seem to be the close combat guys. We have 4 shooters. They have guns. And then we've got 4 mechs, and the mechs are robot soldier looking dudes. Okay, and then there's all kinds of like little. There's a turret, and I'm assuming. Oh, also on the command card, we have 1 command module. So that probably is like your home base, like where you're based out of. We have 3 miners, which kind of look like giant Roombas. We've got. You know what? I wonder if I can do this. If I can do it this way, I will. So I'm just going to walk you through and show you. So, all right. Ignore my face not being there. I'm going to try and see under the thing. So, oh, wrong hand. So we have fighter, shooter, mech, miners, the super Roombas, the command module, barricades, turrets, portals, so we're trying to do some teleport stuff, and then we have advanced miner and shields. Looks like we have lots of shields, so I don't know whether or not shields are going to be something that are you place in a square. Oh, it's on the command card. The upgrades: the advanced miner attaches to a miner. The shields attached to a mech, barricade, or command. So, okay, so that's a. There's lots of things that the shields can attach to. All right, so each one of these, they're all punch outs, color coded, so you know what team you're on. I'm going to do one minor criticism here. Is I understand that this is a board game currently, and the factions are all identical. So is the art. The fact that they're doing cardboard standees and it's just color-coded art is fine. I'm not going to complain at all. I'm not going to even say, where. And especially if they're a young company, art is one of your highest costs. So while I would rather these 4 factions to be individual in their style and individual in their art, as a board game, it's not necessary. If they're planning on moving it into a war game, you're going to need different faction styles. You know, whether maybe one of these is a weird alien lizard race. These guys, their miners look like Roombas. Maybe the alien lizard race, their miners look like little turtles or digging spiders or whatever. You'll need, if this is going to be something that is more than a board game, the faction art needs to be different than each other. But now, what you have here is awesome. As a board game, this is solid. I would not complain about this at all. What else? Cardboard standee wise, we've got cardboard punch outs that are the tiles that are the looks like these are the tiles that you're going to run around in. They're numbered. Each one of these tiles have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then -1, -2, -3, -4. As far as wait a minute, is this the negative side? As in, oh, okay, all right. So the tile sheet, you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4. On the other side, you've got negative 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are literally the mirror opposite of the thing. So if I were to be looking at this as a two-dimensional piece, or a three-dimensional piece, if I'm looking at number 4, if there are holes in the top left corner of number 4, on negative 4, it's going to be in that same spot but underneath. So that's interesting. It's interesting to do that. There are 5 tiles, 5 punch outs, each one having 4 tiles, and then little, I'm assuming they're doors, the little door marker, which is it on the command sheet? It is not. So that one's not on the command sheet. I'm assuming they're doors to get between tiles or whatnot. But one thing I am noticing is that although there are 4 tiles, 8 sides per thing, each one of these greater card stocks are identical, which means each one has 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are the same. I don't know whether or not, because we haven't gotten into the instructions yet, I don't know if that's a limiting factor or if it is designed to be that way, or if it was just, again, someone saving money on having to do graphics for a bazillion tiles. I would suggest, if at all possible, to, as the game expands, make more tiles. Because, yeah, technically 8 different sides, whether or not they're mirrors of each other, and you put those down in different, directions, you have hundreds of options. It is still going to be something that over time, if the game gets played a lot by the same people, they're going to start being very I don't know what's the right word, judgmental of seeing the same thing over and over and over again. So that is all of the cardboard assets in the in the box, and then there is one very big. Here, let me get all this stuff out of the way. There is one very big deck of cards that is all put in one thing. So let's take a look here. By reading the back of the box, it talks about how there are multiple types of cards. So I'm going to flip through real quick and just see if... Okay, very cool. This is important. So on the back, we've got the tactical tech kind of basic sort of watermark kind of thing. And that's got a bunch of... Those are the research cards. And then we have cards that say mineral on the back. It looks like we have a lot of those. Oh, geez. A whole lot of those. I have not run out of those. The rest... Oh, never mind. The rest of this deck are all... They've got the mineral cards on the back. And so now I'm going to flip through the front of them just a little bit. We've got some that are glitch, but a lot of these... Oh, okay, I get it. These are going to be cards that you get when you play the game. So you have... It looks like we've got glitch cards, which are weird things that are going to happen, but for the most part, what you do with these mineral cards is you're going to get resources. So we've got, here's your gold looking resource. There's a bunch of those. Here's a red looking resource. A bunch of those. Oh, some secret passage cards. And then some silver cards. And then some green cards. All right, so it looks, at first glance, it looks like the mineral cards are probably what you're going to get when you're out in the mines looking for stuff. You're going to spend those cards probably to build your forces, but then occasionally weird stuff can come up while you're digging, like you find a secret passage or something along those lines. The research cards looks like this is a way for you to spend your resources and use those to either update, upgrade. Yeah, some of these say do not discard. Some of them say it adds stuff to particular units. Okay, so this is how you're going to make your guys cooler, so you can eventually win the game, however that may be. So now we've gone through all the components. Let's take a quick look at the rulebook itself. So the rulebook is just a little pamphlet. Looks like 7 pages. So this is probably going to be a pretty easy mechanic to get a hold of. The creator of the game is a gentleman by the name of Jacob R. Weibel, W-I-B-L-E. I would suggest try and follow him on Twitter or Facebook, and especially if you go out and order a copy of this game, let him know I sent you. That I'm digging it. Okay, so the front of the open page has an index, a game overview that talks about. Okay, here we go. There's a fluffy lore version. Let's read that real quick. Humankind has advanced dramatically since the Industrial Revolution of commercialized outer space. With so many living off of Earth, a new calendar was created, the Cosmic Almanac System, or CAS. The current year is 64, CAS. Factions either find abandoned mining facilities or build new facilities on asteroids. They build automated miners to collect the minerals and sell the yield to their investors back on Earth in order to buy the latest technologies for defending their assets. They purchase technologies such as tactical bodysuits and weapons, mech robots, nano-shield technology, autonomous sentry turrets, and even teleportation devices. Legally, there are no governments controlling outer space, only special interest groups called factions. These factions are funded by governments and big tech corporations. They may get along with each other if it's mutually beneficial, but they have only one purpose: mine the minerals by any means necessary. Okay, so it's a pretty straightforward, capitalist society breaks into factions. You want your faction to get all the power. Game overview. Greetings, Commander, and welcome to Tactical Tech, where players battle each other to control the asteroid mining operations scattered across the solar system. In Tactical Tech, each player controls one of 4 factions. I know this is where I think different art and different stylization will come into play. You have the Blue Atlantis, the Red Dynasty, the Green Henge, or the White Tep. So I'm assuming that would be probably the coolest way to separate the different types of factions from Earth, is make them look differently based off of their name. Team up with another player or go solo in a mission to defeat all opponents. Starting at your command, train the units and send them out to occupy new board tiles. Buy miners to earn more mineral cards, spend mineral cards to build up your faction, strategize how to destroy your opponent's command. Once all opponents' commands have been destroyed, you win the match. Okay, so that's what this is. This is a checkmate style game where you are trying to break blow up your opponent's command structure, that little kind of satellite dish thing. So wherever they have it, that's what you're trying to do. So depending on how the game flows, could be a fast game, who knows. It gives a list of components, and then it gives you a list of the component overview to tell you, basically, it's all the same things that I went through when I went through the components. It tells you what they are in the thing. Now, it does talk about that the individual board tiles have a different anatomy on them. There are floor squares that it says move, attack, and build. Oh, so that tells you what actions you can take on them. You cannot build commands or miners on regular floor squares. All right. Mineral square, move, attack, and build. You can build commands. You can build commands and miners here. So on mineral squares is where you're going to set your commander spot, and it's also where you're going to set your miners. Wall squares, they block movement, line of sight, and the ability to build. All right, so just basically blocking terrain kind of thing. And a secret passage square behaves like a wall square, If a passage tile has been placed on top, it becomes a floor square. Okay, so basically the secret passage square is a little square that's got like little red dots on it, but until one of those green things that I said looks like some kind of door gets placed on it, it's considered a wall. Passage tiles are the little things. They can only be placed on secret passage squares, and it becomes a permanent floor tile. So it's a way to change the map permanently. All right. It goes through what the cards themselves are. Each card has a card name, visual aid, primary function, and an alternate function. I don't know what the alternate function would mean. Oh, some cards have an alternate function. Okay. Your research cards have a card name, visual aid, card function, and a mineral cost for you to be able to research them. The factions themselves. We have oh, that's cool. All right, so these little standees have got something neat on them that I didn't know. Oh, very cool. So there's 2 slots on the standee. There's the big slot and the little slot up front. The big slot is for the faction or for the actual unit type. And the front slot is for any upgrade that it might have. So how I was talking about how you can upgrade certain things with shields and stuff, you put the upgrade on the standee so you know which guys have been upgraded. That's actually really neat. Let's see. The command module, you must play in a blue mineral square. It earns 1 mineral card per turn. It grants 1 activation for 1 unit. Okay. It also has an attack range of 5 squares, so it can protect itself. It attacks once during your turn and does not count as an activation, so it attacks for free. It can be upgraded with a shield. Okay. However, if destroyed, the owner is defeated. So if someone blows up your command, you're just done. Fighters, the unit moves 5 squares. Their attack is 1 square, so you basically have to be right next to them. If you purchase the Research Silver card, it allows the fighter to partially use movement squares, then attack or play a special card, then continue to use their movement squares. So that it sounds like you probably have to move up and then attack. Shooters, they move 4 squares. Their attack range is only... The shooter says the attack range is only 1 square. I don't think that is true. I was pretty sure that might be a typo in the book. Shooters range is 3 squares. Okay, so that is a typo in the rule book, because it says attack range 1 square. That's probably a cut and paste issue from Fighter. So it's actually 3 squares. That's good to know. Purchase the Research Gold card to increase their movement distance. All right. The mech unit moves 3 squares, has an attack range of 4 squares, can be upgraded with a shield, and if it purchases the Uranium Research card, it increases its attack range. A shield upgrade attaches to a barricade, mech, or command. Basically, if that model is attacked, or that unit is attacked, remove the shield from the piece. So you get kind of a free hit. Miners must be played on blue mineral squares. Oh, okay. So how I thought it looked like a Roomba, like a miner that was like running around. That's not true. It is almost more like a mining facility. It sits on 1 square and doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there and goes chunk, 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 and it just gets mineral cards. It can be upgraded with an advanced miner, which is right next. If it attaches to a miner, it earns an additional miniature card. That's kind of cool. If the miner is attacked, remove the advanced miner first. So it acts as not only bonus resources, but also an ablative wound for the miners themselves. That's pretty cool. Barricades can be upgraded with a shield. They're just used to block paths. Turrets have an attack range of 5 squares, attacking once per turn that do not count as an acquisition. So basically the same gun that's on your command, the turret can do 2. You just build it, and it has a free attack every turn. Portals require... Oh, that's cool. You have to build 2 portals, because it allows instant unit movement between them. The square that a portal is placed on does not count as movement. Basically, if you run through, you jump on a portal square, you automatically are at the matching portal square, or any other matching portal square. If you're playing a team match, teammates can use each other's portals for traveling to your and theirs. So basically, opponents cannot turn your portals on, but if it's on your team, it's all considered the same portal network, and you can hit the button and go. Very cool. All right, how we play a game. Setting up a match. Board layouts. The 20 board stacks to make the layouts easier to assemble. For beginners, use the layouts shown here. For advanced players, create a symmetrical or random layout. So it's got a couple of designs here that shows you how to build a force or how to build a table out. Nothing special. That doesn't, you basically just make a big random set of places. Each player starts the game with 2 mineral cards. It just says decide who goes first, so I'm assuming rock, paper, scissors, whatever. Each player places the command on any blue mineral square on any tile. So you can go absolutely anywhere you want. If you depending on the random placement, you could be right in the middle, smack dab of everything, depending on if that's where you wanted to do. After all players have placed their command, in turn order, each player places a miner on any blue mineral square that doesn't already have one there. All right, so, on any tile that doesn't have any pieces on it, also known as an unoccupied tile. So you can't, it has to be unoccupied. You can't put it right next to your existing command. It has to be a tile that has nothing on it. After all players have placed their first miner, each player places a fighter on a floor square, sharing with their command tile. So wherever you put your command, your first fighter is going to start there. If you want to play a faster match, each player will also play a portal on the command tile. So it gives you a place you can teleport around the board if you want to play the game faster. On your turn, go through the 4 phases in the following order. 1. Activation. Activate your units, attack with your turrets or command, and play any of your special cards. Sounds easy, okay. Phase, that is the activation phase. The purchase phase spends your mineral cards on unit structures and upgrades. Sell, remove pieces from the board in exchange for mineral cards. Okay, so if something is either, like, the battle has moved on from an area, you can sell stuff. And then earn is receive new mineral cards from the minerals deck. And then your turn ends. Your turn ends. Alright, the activation phase. During this phase, you can do any of the following. Activate your units. Command grants you an activation of 1 unit. When a unit is activated, it either moves once, attacks once, or does both in any order. Alright. Move. You can move diagonally and straight on floors. Everything's fine. You just move. Attack. A unit can only attack opponents in a straight line in one of the 8 directions from your... So diagonals are okay, but it has to be straight. If they're kind of cockeyed in a different square, you're going to miss. Let's see. The selected direction was target the first opponent's piece. So you can't shoot past people. You got to shoot the first person. Remove the targeted piece from the board and give it back to the player. Oh, geez. Okay, so unless something has shields, they are dead. Your weapons, you kill a guy. In the purchase phase, you can purchase fighter, shooters, or mechs. You have to place them on the same tile as your command. Command miners or barricades or turret. You must place structures on a floor square on a tile that already has one of your faction pieces on it. So you have to have an occupied tile. You basically have to own it. You cannot place structures on a tile that has opponent's pieces in it. Alright. Upgrades, they just attach to the thing. Sell phase. You can only sell structures, barricade, turret, portal, and miner. When selling these, remove it from the board and put it back in your faction set. Draw a mineral card. Oh, and then draw a mineral card. So it's maybe not the most economic situation, but it gives you at least something to do with stuff that's being ignored. To activate more units, you have to purchase research cards. All right. You can only activate your own units. You cannot activate the same unit twice. That's good to know. Attack with your command and turrets. Your turrets and command can attack once a turn. They just do it for free. And you may play special cards. There are special cards that can be played, but you may only use the written functions of the card during this part of the phase. So if it's got a different kind of thing, you can't activate with it or whatever. Research cards. This basically just shows you what you get. Oh, hang on. Special cards in the mineral deck can alternately be used as an iron mineral. Oh, so even if you're, like, if you decide you don't want to be a jerk and blow up somebody's Roomba or whatever, you can choose to use that card as an iron card because it's got a red border. 2 of the same mineral card types can be used in place of any of the 4 mineral types. Oh, okay. This is called converting. So you can convert 2 iron to a uranium, or 2 uranium to a gold, or whatever. You cannot stay in your... cards must be converted while purchasing and cannot stay in your hand. So you can't literally turn them in for, here's 2 and then 1. You've got to do something with them. You cannot convert special cards. All right. The earn phase. Your command, each miner and any advanced miner on the board earn a mineral card each. Draw from the mineral deck. Do not share with your opponents what you drew. Duh. There is no hand limit for the number of cards you can have, and you have to shuffle the discard pile if you run out of minerals. Ending the match. So this is the important. This is victory conditions. The match ends, and you're victorious when only you or your team still has your command on the board. Victorious. Hang on. Match ends and you're victorious when you and your team still have commands on the board. Oh, okay. So it's gotcha. Now each thing only had 1 command to punch out, so I don't know how that. Oh, now I get it, because it said that when your command is knocked out, you're defeated. But in a team game, you have 2 commands to knock out, so you could spend minerals to build another command while your teammate is kind of, towing the line. All right, okay, I get that now. That makes sense. Tutorial. Early in the match, you will find yourself in a few standoffs between you and your opponents. This is normal as you're establishing territory. Use the little time you have before combat to build more miners and train units. As you earn more mineral cards, purchase research cards so you can activate more units during your turn, and build barricades to block paths. All right. This seems... all right, this says visit TechTightGames.com, which I'm going to put them in the description of the video, for more content such as official board layouts, competitions, add-ons, modifications, excuse me, merchandise, news and updates, videos and pictures, social media, and much more. All right, so again, this is seemingly a very simple game, which is not a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with making a simple game. I can see where this could expand into a larger universe and a larger war game, but I think as it is, this is going to be a fun board game by itself. And I'm hoping that I get a chance to play it here pretty soon, and I'll tell you all about it, maybe even next week. So that's really all I had for today. I didn't want to get too deep into things because I got so much to do. I hope you enjoyed the unboxing, and wish me luck on my 40K tournament for this weekend. But for you, go out there, stay safe, get vaccinated, wear your mask if you need to, or if a business establishment still requires you to do so, please don't be a jerk. Just wear your mask, vaccinated or not. If they ask you to, it's for their health. It's for their mental health and well-being. Just go ahead and do it. But be safe, have fun, and just like I'm going to do this weekend, play some games. We'll see you next week.